When we look back at the PS4 era 10 to 20 years from now, I'm sure many of you will say Insomniac's Spider-Man was a highlight for you amongst many other games. There's been other quality Spider-Man games in the past, but Insomniac managed to take things to another level with their swinging mechanics, combat, and storytelling. That game was followed up by the Miles Morales expansion, which blessed us with one of the most iconic quotes of the 8th console generation.
The way he leaps off of rooftops and flips backwards to face the camera before falling into a headfirst dive is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
It was exactly 2 years ago today that the world first laid eyes on the reveal trailer of Marvel's Spider-Man 2. And to nobody's surprise, what we witnessed was both Spidey showing their moves and Venom was lurking in the shadows. Now, as of today, that trailer has 30 million views and growing. I think it's safe to say upon viewing that trailer that those 30 million people, including me, collectively all said,
"There's ectoplasm!"
Here we are 2 years removed from the big reveal and Spider-Man 2 is officially on store shelves. You might have heard some of your peers screaming, "It's game of the year!" But you're not so sure and you're curious to hear what I have to say. So I'm gonna share my thoughts. Before we do, quick disclaimer. The following video is not a full review. It's just some general first impressions. At the time of this recording, I have not completed the game. Therefore, take everything I say with a grain of salt, seeing as my opinion could change by the time I reach the end of this game. Always do your research, watch several videos before making your purchase because $70 is not a joke. And with that being said, here's what you need to know before you install Spider-Man 2. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 takes place 10 months after the events of the Miles Morales expansion. Peter's back in town and now both Spideys are patrolling the mean streets of New York. The first thing I want to praise is the game's pacing. Spider-Man 2 kicks off the way I wish more games would, putting the fun first. The opening mission has New York City under attack by Sandman, and in the span of the entire fight, the game does a refresher on its controls, it shows off some beautiful transitions, and you get a boss fight. And from there, the game slows down and then it gradually picks up over time. The point is that I love when a game kicks off with a boom and it gives you a taste of everything it has to offer before diving deeper into its story. This opening mission is reminiscent of that feeling Ghost of Tsushima gave me in its opening hour. I just can't stress enough that I love when a game prioritizes being fun before anything else. Every game doesn't need to be an Oscar bait movie. From there, the open world is yours, and this is where Spider-Man 2 shines the most. I believe the biggest improvement this game made over the previous ones is the upgrade to your traversal tools. You could tell Insomniac's main goal here is to make you feel like Spider-Man, and I believe they accomplished just that. Swinging is easy and intuitive, but more importantly, it's fun. Peter and Miles have a plethora of new tools that make zipping around the city a breeze. Things such as being able to slingshot yourself, doing full 360 swings to launch yourself forward, and a wingsuit. This might sound crazy to hear, but for those of you who played the game, you'll understand my next statement. Spider-Man 2 is the closest thing we've gotten to a Superman game to date. The wingsuit acts similar to Batman's in the Arkham series, but you have these wind pockets scattered all throughout the city to help you extend your flight. The combination of slingshotting yourself forward, using the flight suit, and then swinging to extend it all is just, it's a chef's kiss. It is so fun to traverse New York City that this is one of the few open world games where I don't feel compelled to use the fast travel system. Fast travel's great, it's almost instant thanks to the SSD in the PS5, but Spidey moves so quickly around town that it's just fun to explore the old-fashioned way. And the best part is that the game rewards the player for exploring. All throughout the city, you'll find side quests and treasure chests hidden that can be used to upgrade your tech abilities. Not to mention crimes randomly spawn throughout the city, and this time around, they're worth doing because they provide a healthy amount of XP. At the time of this recording, I've completed 50% of the game, mainly doing side quests. I really have not touched the story, which also speaks volumes to the fact that they kept their word when they said that this game is going to be probably like 15 to 25 hours for most people. I love a game that ends. I'm tired of these really long open world games. My one knock on the randomly spawned crimes is the lack of variety. You're going to see some carjackings and breaking in crimes frequently. You're also going to see the same NPC models. All the thugs wear Timbs, and I swear I've rescued the same man a million times. If you played the game, you know who I'm talking about. It's usually an older black man with a maroon or blue sweatshirt, Timbs, and headphones on. If it wasn't for the extra XP, I would have skipped these randomly spawned crimes. The reason I say it would have been nice to see a little more variety here is because this is a very safe sequel. If you're gonna play it safe, Insomnia could have at least added a little more seasoning to the little details like the randomly spawning crimes, but I'll touch on that a little bit later. Instead, allow me to turn your attention to the combat. The short version, if you like the last two games, you're gonna like the combat in this game. It's very similar. The long version is, although it is very similar, there are some slight changes. The first being the addition of the parry mechanic. Only certain attacks can be parried in the game, and if you time it correctly, you'll be rewarded with a counter attack. This addition is cool, but it isn't necessary. In my opinion, perfect dodging is still the most efficient way to play, but what parrying does do is it adds another tool to your arsenal. I think it'll benefit the people who want to play with maximum style by being able to switch up even more. The other major change is the skill tree. There's 3 skill trees in this game, with Peter and Miles having their own separate move sets, but there's also a third skill tree that unlocks moves that work for both Spider-Men. Most of these skills revolve around traversing the environment, and that's why earlier I said the movement was definitely Insomniac's focus for this game, and the proof is in the skill tree. Now, skill points are shared, and this did worry me early on. I was worried I would only be able to see what one Spider-Man had to offer by the time I reached the end of the game, but it's so easy to level up in this game, it's not a big deal. You'll have plenty of skill points to distribute between both parties, and that's because this game is just flat out easy. Rarely will you hear me make this complaint or just bring this up, period, but if you're a seasoned gamer, I highly recommend putting the game on hard because normal is just too easy. I've died maybe twice in my 15 hours of playing, and it was because I was playing recklessly. The only reason I haven't bumped up the difficulty from normal to hard is because I just came off of beating Liza P and I need a mental break. I just want to have fun. After I finished Liza P, I was like,
oh, Lord have mercy. Today drained me.
This leads me to my next complaint with this game. This sequel plays it too safe. Don't go into this expecting that jump we saw from Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed 2. It's more the same from the last 2 games with a few small additions. I would define this game as a really solid PlayStation exclusive. If I had to grade it right now based off of what I played, I'd give it an 8.5. I think for me, what would have taken this game to the next level is co-op. Imagine being able to swing across New York with a buddy fighting crime. It would have been like Gotham Knights, but actually good. I feel like the co-op is such an obvious addition that Insomniac dropped the ball. There's literally 2 Spider-Men in this game. Not only could they have done drop-in co-op for the campaign, but they could have added like a horde mode or a combo trial mode that you can play with friends that unlocks new suits and other kinds of rewards. Another reason it's hard for me to give it anything higher than an 8.5 at the moment is because the game is buggy. I'm actually shocked how buggy this is because the last 2 weren't, and I'm also shocked that none of the reviews I watched mention this. If my game glitched out infrequently, I would have never brought this up, but it happened enough that I have to bring it up to be fair. Glitches range from small, silly open world stuff like clipping, T-poses, and weird animations to the game full-blown crashing on me several times. This is Arkham City? Yeah, sure. And before you Sony ponies start attacking me, no, it's not just me either. There's nothing wrong with my PS5. Ethos, you know, my co-host on the Gaming Illuminati podcast over at youtube.com/GI updates, he mentioned the game crashed on him several times too. I've seen a bug floating around that turns Spider-Man into a Tesseract cube. I've even seen people in my own community dealing with bugs. Take JP for instance. Dude is a regular in my Twitch chat and in the Discord. He's a streamer himself, so go support him. Anyways, he uploaded a clip of him going through the map.
I just glitched the game. I'm inside of a building.
So understand I am not trying to push any type of agenda. I'm trying to be fair and inform people that this game does have some technical issues that hopefully will be patched in the near future. That being said, I am still having an awesome time with Spider-Man 2 for the most part. The main thing this game gets right is it never forgets it's supposed to be fun before anything else. Although I have not completed the game at the time of this recording, I'm feeling confident that my opinion on this one will not change much once I finish the story, and that's mainly because I'm a gameplay first type of guy, and I'm comfortable saying that this could end up in my top 5 at the end of the year. Now, where in that top 5 really depends on how the story plays out. I'm gonna have to see something that blows me away because 2023 is a stacked year for quality game releases. And depending on who you ask, Assassin's Creed Mirage is another one of those quality releases. If you like this style of video, know that I produced a video on Assassin's Creed Mirage sharing my impressions. So if you want to hear my take on that game, click the card on the screen and find out what you need to know before you install Assassin's Creed Mirage.